Today I am restocking our family's favorite gut healthy snacks. Normally I don't do them all on the same day, but since the ice storm, we have been out and it was time to just get it done. I am starting by mixing up some bread dough for rising. And this is actually a potato flake starter, a potato flake sourdough starter, I should say, if you think it is looking a little different. It is thinner than your traditional water flour starter. This uses potato flakes, warm water, and some sugar. I have used the traditional water and flour starter as well, and I like it too, but I let mine die, and so I got this starter from my grandmother. We really like the bread that it makes, and so that's just what I'm using currently. I do have plans to get a little starter that's water and flour from a friend soon. But sourdough has many benefits when it comes to the gut and our gut health. This dough will rise for about 8 hours, and then I will knead the dough and put it into loaf pans, and then from there it will rise another 8 hours. And so the long fermentation process of sourdough is what makes it so beneficial for us. That long fermentation process makes it easier for us to digest the bread, and also we can absorb the nutrients from it better. I really appreciate the ingredients in this sourdough loaf more than the store-bought bread as well. If you compare the ingredients in homemade breads and the ones that we buy at the store, there's a big difference, and I just feel like it's healthier and cheaper if you can make it and eat it at home. So I've got the dough rising for the day, and now I am working on breakfast, which is not one of the gut-friendly snacks that I'm making today, but breakfast does have to be made. I'm making a Dutch baby. This is a protein-rich breakfast that still feels like a treat to the kiddos, and so we have this at least once a week, sometimes two, but it is like a German pancake, and so it is essentially pancakes with extra eggs. So they get a little syrup on it, and they really love this. Traditionally, our ancestors ate the whole animal, so they were eating nose to tail, and they were naturally getting those nutrient-rich amino acids in their diet. And these are amino acids that our body does not make on its own, and so we have to consume those through our foods. But the majority of us are not eating the whole animal anymore. You know, we're not eating the feet, and we're not eating the brains. We're not eating nose to tail like our ancestors did. And while I'm not sure, that we're getting enough amino acids through these snacks and foods that I make to have on hand, but I do think they are doing some good. They're especially good for our gut. I've learned a lot about the gut over the years, but two really important things that stood out to me about our gut is that a lot of our immune system, 70 to 80% of our immune system is from our gut. And so if we have a healthy gut, chances are we have a healthy immune system. And also, I think it's like 90% of the serotonin that our body makes is made in the gut. And if you know anything about serotonin, it is very beneficial for mental health. So, having a healthy gut is good because we want our guts to be healthy, just, for our physical well being. But also, a lot resides in the gut. So, if we can keep our guts healthy, then we should have good immune health and mental health. I am getting some bone broth going in the Instant Pot. This used to intimidate me. Well, really, all of the things that I'm doing today used to intimidate me. But now that I do them, I just wonder why I didn't start sooner. But bone broth is so easy and inexpensive, especially when you compare, the boxes of bone broth at the store to the ones that you make at home. It's just pennies on the dollar. It is a big savings, and it's simple. What I do is I save the bones from like the chicken that we eat. I save vegetable scraps. So if I'm peeling an onion, or I have like the ends of carrots or celery or any veggies really, I will put it in a freezer bag along with the chicken legs. And then whenever the bag is full, I will pop it in the Instant Pot with water and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some spices. And I cook that on high for 3 hours. And it is mineral-rich broth that is good for sipping or cooking with. It freezes really well, and so I just will pop it out of the freezer whenever I need some broth for a recipe. Now I am getting some cabbage ready to turn into sauerkraut. We love sauerkraut around here, and just a small spoon of sauerkraut has so many prebiotics and probiotics, which can just really help keep your gut happy. Now, I do have a tip here, and this is not what I'm doing, because I learned after this batch that sauerkraut, or cutting cabbage in general, it's just messy. And so I think the next time I make it, I'm going to start making bigger batches at a time. So maybe like 3 to 6 heads of cabbage instead of 1, because the cleanup is not going to change, And so that is my one piece of advice. But sauerkraut is so easy. You just cut the cabbage, put it in a bowl, cover it with salt, massage it a little, and let it sit. So what that does is it lets it form a brine, and the cabbage will sit in the brine after you put it in a jar, and it will ferment in that brine. I'm still tweaking the gummy recipe, but they always get eaten very fast. And so this is another one that was very intimidating to me at first, but it is 2 ingredients, which is a fruit juice of your choice and beef gelatin. So you just let it bloom. As you can see, when you put the gelatin on a liquid, it kind of looks like a brain. And so once it's bloomed, you heat that, and then you just pour it into the molds. You can put them in the fridge so that they can chill and harden. And I really like incorporating gelatin into these snacks because it is a protein, so it's not going to spike their blood sugar when they have it. And also, it's just really good for the gut. It's good for digestion. It's soothing to the gut. And it also can be good for joints and connective tissue and things like that. You can also make Jell-O with this gelatin powder, but I haven't tried that yet. I'm looking forward to doing that this summer, though. I think that that will be a really fun, tasty treat. I'm making some marshmallows while I have the gelatin powder out. We love having marshmallows around here, especially in the wintertime. I feel like I keep them made up all the time, but not as much in the summer months. Probably because we are not drinking as much hot cocoa in the summertime, but they're a fun treat to snack on, and I really enjoy them in my morning coffee. Not only do they taste better than the store-bought ones, but the ingredients are much better in the homemade ones, and they are very good for your gut. It is nighttime now, and all the children are in bed, but I'm reminded why I do not do all of our favorite gut-friendly snacks all in one day. I normally just do what we are out of, and we are not usually out of everything at the same time. But tonight I am finishing up the sauerkraut. I'm getting all the air pockets out of the cabbage and just pushing it all down to the bottom and letting the brine cover all the cabbage. The marshmallows are poured up and ready to set overnight, and we will be able to enjoy those tomorrow. And the sourdough that I mixed up this morning is ready to be kneaded and put into loaf pans, and it will rise overnight, and I'll cook it first thing in the morning. I've enjoyed sharing some of our family's gut healthy snacks today. If you have a favorite gut healthy recipe that you want to share, please do. I'm always looking to try new snacks and foods that are beneficial for our health. And if you're interested in any of the recipes that I used today, just let me know. I'll be happy to share that with you. Thank y'all for stopping by here at the property at Providence.